Hi, I'm Karin. This video is an edited down recording of a meeting that I just had with a bunch of students from RPI, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, that I've been working with on this open source project, VZCode, mob programming code editor for VizHub and others who want to use it. Hopefully this gives a sense of how we work together and how new features get added. In this meeting, we go over autofocus of the input field when you click on search. So now you can just start typing directly. You don't have to click on that thing. So you can get your search results easier and jump to the results. We also landed the new file icons in the sidebar, which is amazing. That's all these little icons here for different file types. Very nice. We unlocked HTML autocomplete and CSS autocomplete, meaning if you open an HTML file, now you get this beautiful autocomplete from CodeMirror. And a side benefit of that is that you also get beautiful completions in CSS files as well. And finally, I go through the whole process of upgrading dependencies, running prettier, running all the tests, and cutting a new release of VZCode. Enjoy! So yeah, I'm thrilled to be meeting with you all again. We're back in action. We did some really fantastic work, I have to say. So thank you everyone for your work. It's been truly fantastic. And it's live in production in VizHub if you log in and try things out. The whole sidebar got shifted vertically, which is really cool. So I love that. I did some cleanup work after merging all the PRs to get the styling just right with the outlines and the borders and stuff. And it's looking pretty darn good. The auto follow feature is amazing. Amazing. And we'll talk about that. There's one PR that's almost there with the opening of the files. So we'll get to that one. The search feature looks amazing too. I mean, oh, one thing is it should autofocus. That's one thing I noticed. I made an issue for that. We should talk about that. But basically, it works and it's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful work with that one. You can go to the definition. Wow. So, yeah, should we do like a stand-up style kind of a thing where everybody talks about like what you've been working on, if you're stuck on anything, and what you're going to work on next? Just quickly go around and touch upon everyone. I think that would be a great way to start.
I'm gonna make a draft PR quick if anyone wants to take a look at the changes for the autocomplete.
Nice. Yeah, definitely make a draft PR. Have you made any code changes yet?
Sorry, I'm switching between tabs here. Yeah, I did make some changes. I think I like dug through the documentation and all the imports that I thought and like the configurations I thought would work should like be in there, but I don't know why it's not working exactly.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, definitely put up a draft PR and we can take a look at it. Excellent. Thank you. Who's next? Oh, who you throwing it to? Who you throwing it to?
We'll go Philip.
Um, so I've been working on the keyboard navigation. Um, I've gotten something that looks a little bit like what I'm trying to go for, but there's a bit more complications that I'm not exactly sure how to solve. So I guess I'll continue working on that. In the meantime, I've updated the keyboard documentations, and I'm
Oh,
thinking maybe I
amazing.
like, yeah, I'm thinking maybe I like pick up like more smaller issues just to like learn a bit more about React and then try to come back to keyboard navigation in the future.
Oh, great idea. So yeah, that's funny. I was actually thinking the same thing because this PR is a lot of progress, but it seems like it could be like a little overwhelming and maybe you could are you wanting to pick up some smaller items and then maybe circle back to this later?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And in the meantime, I can take a look at this. I can I didn't dig too deeply because when I tested it out, there were some styling issues and I'm like, "Oh, this is a lot of work here." So, but thank you for clarifying. That sounds good. I'll take this on to see if I can wrap up this PR and get it merged in, and hopefully we can build on it because I think it is the right approach to use this React area stuff. So I'll take on refinement of this, or at least I'll look into it, and maybe you could circle back to it later, or build on it later. But I think it's a great idea to pick up some smaller issues in the meantime, so you can get some momentum going. Awesome. All right, thanks. Who's next?
I can pass it on to Jeffrey.
So I've just been working on like the search feature. So I finished that up before we left off for break, and you got to review it. I guess we were on break,
Amazing. Amazing.
and like
Yeah.
today, I like when I got here, just fixed the autofocus. I guess I just forgot the line. It's just a single line I had added, and right now I'm working on like just moving like the new icons to the sidebar
Oh,
for like
great.
the directives. It's done. I just like need to push the command. And then I think I'm just gonna keep working on the small issues you made for that one PR.
Amazing. Okay, that sounds fantastic. Thank you. Who's next?
So, um, one of the things that I was having issues with about 2 weeks ago is that the I wasn't able to locally run anything through my IDE, but we were able to fix that about 2 weeks ago. So I'm able to like run everything now. Um, I was still working on the back button, but I also wanted to. I noticed that there's still some things that weren't working, so I was looking to see if I can look at some smaller issues just to like work on those, just to gain momentum, like you said, and then circle around back to the back button when I can. Though I did wanted to know if you can elaborate on number 561 because I see that's a task where it says there's like a saving and save status, but I'm not really sure how to start that. So
Aha. Yeah, let me interrupt the flow of the stand-up for just a second to see if that's still relevant because that's referring to this one down here where it says connected. And if I were to like shut off my Wi-Fi, or actually we can see it locally. If we just stop the server, it changes to disconnected. The idea with this saving saved status is that as a person who's typing, like if I make a change, I want to know if it has actually been saved or not. So when I type
right.
something, ideally this little text here that says connected would change to say saving ... and just to do a little preview, I can change it right here. So, and I can take a screenshot of this and drop it into the issue.
Mm-hmm.
So saving, and maybe in that case, the icon color could change. I mean, this little circle color could change too to like yellow, but maybe not. Maybe green is fine. Keep it green because you are connected after all. And then after we get actual confirmation from the server that like, okay, your changes that you just typed have been saved, then it should change to maybe
Just some different color.
like the text could change.
All right. Wow.
Oh, look, it just changed to connection lost. Aha. Okay, now it's connected. So maybe you should just change to connected or maybe saved. Maybe this should just say saved. I like the minimalism of it.
Yeah.
So on page load, it should say connected, but then after you change something and it says saving, then it can change to saved. Although now that I see it, that looks kind of weird. Or maybe some variant of this. Connected. All changes saved. We could look to Google Docs too. They have a similar feature to this.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the idea with that. And I got this working, I think, in a previous version of some prototype I made, and so I dropped this sample code. I think we should be able to use this sample code to drive the state of this pending. And yeah, that's about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for the most part, I'll
Cool.
find out a way to work around it. So yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, this looks like a good one to take on. It would be, I think, a nice little improvement. Yeah. Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. Great. Who are you passing it to? Is that everybody?
So I was working on the autofollow feature. I saw all the stuff that you told that you did. Um, I had gotten the file opening, I think, before I left for break to a point where it worked, kind of.
Yeah.
Um, and then you mentioned that I should change something, but I don't really understand what you meant by that. So it'd be great if you could elaborate just a little bit.
Yeah, totally,
On the
totally.
second part here, add open tab, because the only way I've seen open tab used throughout the entire code base is what I did. But
Yep. Yep. Nice. Yeah, let's dig into that a little bit right now, since you're the last person to go. Happy to open it up and let you know what I mean by that. So, as I recall, you had a different PR that we did merge in that got the auto follow working. Or actually, let me just pull it up. Just so we can see what we're working with here. So if I'm in a file like index.js and I open up another window of the same file, the presence features are working. And if I scroll down and go here, it does not auto follow yet because the pin hasn't been pressed. But if we press this little pin right here, now if I go to a certain place, it actually scrolls that into view, which is amazing. This is fantastic. I'm so happy that this is working now, because this is honestly one of the biggest pain points that I've had working with this editor in real collaboration sessions with people, is that they would move to some other part of the code and start changing it around, and then I would even have to ask on many occasions, like, yo, what line number are you on right now? And then they have to tell me, oh, I'm on line 16. And I'm like, okay, thanks. I just scroll up. So this avoids that whole kind of interaction, which is great. But to take it to the next level, when I open a file, it should open that same file in the other person's view as well. So that's what we're working with here.
Mhm. I think I worked with Michael at the end of. Oh, nice.
Your audio cut out. Are you still talking?
Oh, I think his laptop or froze.
Yeah, no, it was full of
Oh no, we lost him.
I think he's restarting it. Yeah.
Yeah, plug it in. But anyway, now I think, yeah, you can hear me anyway. So now there's this new PR that it does exactly that. However, I had some, let's say, issues. I had some issues with the way it was set up with this export let. And so I actually did a refactoring in a separate PR that modifies it so that instead of having this weird export let situation, it's almost like a global, which just doesn't feel right. I refactored that. I don't know if you saw the PR that went through, but I refactored that to use. Well, here it is. Let's just take a quick look. I made a ref, enable auto follow ref, which is the typical React pattern for dealing with mutable state that you need to expose to some code. Normally you would use state, but since we have to have access to this inside of the code mirror extension, which is only instantiated once, I figured it would make sense to use a ref. So now that this ref is here, see here it's set up as a ref. It's initialized to enable auto follow, which is false by default. And then, yeah, it's just passed into the various places that needs to access it. But I could very clearly see the solution in my head in terms of what has to happen here. And I think I left a PR review. And I was debating, like, oh, should I just do it myself? Because for me, it would take like just 5 minutes. Or should I let you press on? But I think the best thing to do here is let's go through it and then you finish it because it's so close. It's so close.
Okay.
So use context. You tried it. It didn't work in the place where you used it because it has to be passed in from the outside. And so I would say, branch fresh off of main so you get the latest refactoring that I did. And then just add open tab as an option to JSON1 presence display and pass it in. Because the place that you're calling it looks perfectly good. It's just you need to get access to it.
Okay.
And so what that would look like is in this JSON1 presence display, we would add as an option. And just in case it wasn't clear what I meant by add as an option, like add a property to the object that we pass in, which is going to be open tab, I think.
Yeah.
Right. And so once you do this, there's two sort of branches. One is make that available in this file, and we'll probably have to make it an option to get or create editor as well, and pass it in from the outside. Because right now that's not visible. So it would look something like that. And then on the inside of JSON1 presence display, we would add it as well to the destructuring here. And then just call open tab in the same place that you were calling it, which was perfect. Which was exactly right. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so we added to getter create editor, we added to as an option to presence display, and then we just do what I did.
Yes.
Wherever I did it, which I'll grab it real quick.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
Excellent.
That sounds good. All right, thank you.
So I could just make a draft PR that shows the some changes I did that are not finished, just so you could have this like a starting point. I think that would be useful.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
So yeah, starting changes for auto follow, open file feature, git push, and then you can use this as a starting point and then connect all the pieces so it happens. Amazing. And then I'll link that up from here. See also this one. And I think I'll close this PR because it's built on older versions. So I would say start off of main.
Okay.
Or you could even actually start off the branch that I just made and just continue making commits to there. Either way.
All right.
Either way. Amazing. Amazing. Well, looks like there's some super fresh PRs. We can review these. That's amazing. Oh, there's this other PR. So yeah, maybe we'll just do a bunch of PR reviews, and then maybe towards the end of the meeting we can review some of the new issues that I made recently. So let's just briefly touch upon this one, the second fix for the back button. It's almost there, but it loses the transient tabs. And it also doesn't close tabs. It was sort of working, but it didn't close the tabs. So we need a slightly more complicated approach for this. Instead of just opening the tabs, we need to also close the tabs that were closed. And so, you know what I mean?
Did you comment on some things?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, if you go to the files changed view, you can see I have some comments here. Ah, this was deleted. Set active file left. This was deleted, and it actually broke things. So that's one thing.
Oops.
One issue with these changes. Yeah, I saw this got removed, and the first thing I did was like, oh, that's funny. Is that being used anywhere? And then in VS Code, if you just do a search like this, you can see where it's getting called. And it's getting called when you do Alt page up to change the tabs. So anyway, but the substantive change was, okay, there's set tab list. And then open tab was removed. I think we are using open tab in a couple places. So that's another thing. Like,
Yeah.
instead of removing it, maybe just make the new thing that we need. I'm searching for the place where it's actually called. So it looks like in this PR, there's no place that actually calls this function. You know what I mean?
Thought I did. Yeah, I thought I did somewhere. Maybe I forgot to include it once.
Oh,
I have
sorry.
to
Wait a
look
minute.
back at my.
Oh, here it is. Yes. It is getting called. My bad.
There we go. There we go.
I had a typo in my search. But yeah, okay, here it is. Set tab list, decoded tab list. Okay. So yeah, maybe the best approach here is if you're interested in getting this one over the finish line, I would say branch from the latest main, or undo the deletions that you did. But I don't know, whichever is easier. Probably it's easier to branch off of main, and then introduce the
Yeah.
set tab list, and then introduce the code that calls it, because the action type is perfect. I think you have a new action. Wait. Yeah, the action type and the reducer, it's perfectly done. So great job with that. But it was just losing some of the transientness of the tabs. That's one thing I noticed. So, yeah, are you up for continuing to work on this one?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay, cool. And you don't have to. Like, if you don't have energy for it, that's fine. I can get it over the finish line, or we could work together on it right now, which might be cool. So it looks like in my comment, I didn't actually see the code properly, or no. Oh, it was an older version of it. Oh, and then yeah, I was just seeing this error. So. Yeah, I would say keep pushing on this one. This approach is pretty good. It's almost there.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'll leave that with you. Let's check out this one. What is this? Search autofocus. Hell yeah. Yes. 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 Love it. Let me just test it out real quick. Get pull. So let's test this out. And yeah, I don't love the 2-second delay, and I kind of want to hit enter, but those are small issues. When I hit search, it should be auto-focused. And it is. Amazing, amazing. Excellent. Yeah, this is a nice little change. Merged. Oh, yeah. Nice. Yes, you know, I was wondering if we needed to add more stuff. Thank you for doing this. Oh, there's a new file that ends in exclamation marks. Great. Let me just confirm that these actually work. Alt 1 focuses this sidebar? Wait a minute. What just happened? Alt 1. Oh no, Alt. It doesn't actually seem to work.
Yeah. So with the new code, it doesn't seem to work, but I've noticed that, and I've been working on it right now. Alt 2, I think I could also optimize as well.
Right, like if you hit Alt 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, it just cycles through your tabs. Right? So we would be breaking that, I suppose. I wonder if there's another better way, like control. What about control 1? What do you think? Actually, what is it in VS Code? Is it Alt 1? How can I focus the sidebar in VS Code even? Well, I don't think I'll merge it until until that's actually working. So yeah, I'll hold off. So we could change, I'll just drop it here. So yeah, we just need a way to fully navigate with the keyboard. So yeah, I'll hold off on that one. And then we've got, oh my gosh, new file icons. Take a look. Nice. Nice, nice. Beautiful. Let me try it out. Oh, wow, look at that. Oh my gosh. That's gorgeous. Wow. Oh, this is sick. What is that 3 icon? I don't know if I've ever seen that icon. Yeah, okay, sure. I guess it's the thing. What is that even? This is like some alien language type stuff. But yeah, looks fantastic. Looks fantastic. We got JS, we got JSON, we got Markdown, we got CSS, Svelte, and React. Wow, this is beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Looks good to me. Merged. What's this? Imports and configs.
Yeah, that should be the configuration for the HTML JavaScript like auto completion, but it doesn't seem to want to work.
Oh, I see. I see. I see. So this is towards, let me link it up to the issue because I wasn't sure what it was about. This is the, I know it's in progress, the HTML autocomplete. Wait, is this it? Yeah, this one. Towards this issue, just so I know what it's about. And there's some way of formatting Markdown where it like expands for you, which is sweet. There it is. See that? If you put in a bullet point, it expands right out. Okay, so this is an attempt. This is like work in progress. Are you working on it right now?
Yeah, I'm still looking at it.
It's
I
in
don't know exactly.
it's in a stuck state.
Yeah, why it won't work. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
let's
more
take
or
a
less.
look. Let's take a look at it right now.
And then also in that, in the file I'm working in, there's like a ton of TypeScript errors. I don't think it's really an issue, but there's like a bunch of like types that keep freaking out at me.
Oh yeah? Is it in get or create editor?
Yeah, should be.
I'm not seeing really any, well, there's just some warnings here about any types. Do you see?
Yeah, I had it when I changed online. Let me look at my editor quick. Yeah, on line like 164, there's like this where we define this constant extensions. And those are the extensions that we're like supposedly using. And so if you like leave it blank, like the array, if you just make the array blank, I don't know why it freaks out at all the other like appending, like all the other like extensions that we're pushing later on in the code for me. Maybe it doesn't do that for you. But yeah, it freaks out all the other like pushes, which doesn't really make sense to me.
Huh.
But anyway, that's like where I'm adding these two extensions. And I think I also could like push them instead, which would probably be like the right formatting. But I've also tried that, and it just doesn't seem like
Oh,
anything is
well.
working.
Well, this function gets called for all
Mhm.
sorts of different files, not just HTML. So we actually don't want to be adding the HTML extension all the time. We only want to be doing it for HTML files.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think so. There's file.
So that's why we need an if statement.
Yeah. So there's something here. Get language extension. Yeah. I don't see any existing conditionals except this is kind of a conditional in a way because it gets the extension for the particular language.
Yeah.
And then, so yeah, I would say add. Hey, you know what? We can just work on it together. Hey, do you have the live share extension?
I should. Yeah.
Let's try this out. I'm going to start a
Cool.
live share session. So I'll drop this in the chat. And if you have the VSCode, are you using VSCode or another IDE?
Yeah, I'm using VSCode. Yeah.
Well, that's weird that you would get TypeScript errors because, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing those errors.
Yeah, I don't know why it's happening there.
But anyway, is this auto-completion thing new in the PR? Let me
Yeah,
just
I
check.
imported. Can you not see the? Well, you can't see the changes.
Well, I could see it in the
But
PR view.
I'm
In the
pretty
PR
sure
view, I
the
can see.
yeah the import is new. Yeah, and then I'm assigning like this HTML config to the language.
Yeah,
So
I
we have this
see that.
configuration that we built. Yeah.
Okay, so previously extensions was being initialized to an empty array. So let's bring it back to that. And then over here, check this out. We have based on the language extension. Well, actually, it's right here. This is the one that calls get language extension for file extension. And then this one looks it up in this object. And then if it,
And then it's undefined if you can't find it.
yeah, so if it exists, it calls it as a function and returns that. Otherwise, it returns undefined. Okay, so I think, did you add something here? HTML is HTML of HTML config. And then you were also trying to add something else. Let me see, what was that thing?
So you can see where the config is defined.
So there was the auto completion as well. So another question is, are we already calling auto completion somewhere else, or is that something totally new? That looks like something totally new. Huh. Yeah, that's totally new. We're not even using... Aha, yes, we are. Look at this. If enable TypeScript
And
completions.
TypeScript.
So, okay, this could have been a source of issues because it's like we could have been instantiating the same code mirror extension twice. And maybe the second one was overriding the first one because we have this override here for TypeScript completions. So you know what? This might be actually the best place to add the new stuff. And let me see quickly, what is this enable TypeScript completions? Where does that come from? It's just set to be true. So it was a feature flag for when this was in development. So that's fine. We could easily switch it off if we wanted to. So I'll keep that right there. But this should only happen for certain types of files.
Only on the, like the TypeScript files.
Yeah, this should only be added for if it's a...
Yeah. Does that mean we need a separate one for like JavaScript files as well? Like, and just build out from there. More or less, that we just need to call like a different one for every file, like you said before.
Yeah, so here's the different types of files that it supports, and I believe we should only call that for these particular extensions.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to have a like a custom one for HTML because it didn't seem like natively HT like script tags were supported for auto completion like in HTML.
Yeah,
But if we add like a custom configuration for HTML where when we run into a style tag, we can use a CSS language parser. When we run into like a script tag, we can use a JavaScript language parser.
oh,
That
amazing.
would allow us to kind of like work around that.
Nice.
But yeah, I don't know if I could.
Yeah, that's perfect. Well, we're going to need that. We're going to need that. That's perfect. But I would say just to one small thing about the code style, I like to use const if it's not reassigned. That's just sort of a style that's already there in the code base. So
Okay.
plus, we don't need to create this every time the function runs. So I think I'm going to move this. Oh, wait, sorry, it's already outside. It's already on the outer level. Okay. So that's good. And this is also good. I think the question was how we instantiate autocomplete. Autocompletion, rather. Now, autocompletions is here. So I'm thinking we can modify this code right here to add the HTML version of this if it's HTML, meaning we don't supply this override to autocompletion. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Do we only want to run this function if it's a TypeScript file?
Exactly. Yeah. So that's another
'Cause
thing.
right now it
There's
runs for
multiple.
everything.
Yeah. There's multiple
Yeah.
threads of thought going on here. So let's just say if it is HTML, right? Then we want to do one set of things. Otherwise, so if it's not HTML, we can enable all this stuff and it'll be the same as it was before. But let me just add a little to-do to circle back and say only add this
With TypeScript.
if it's TypeScript compatible, namely .js, .jsx, .ts, or .tsx. So we'll have to add some code that I guess checks all those extensions. And I feel like there might be something in here that already does that check. So to TBD. But let's focus on one thing at a time. So if it is HTML, then
We just want to push basically the extensions.
oh, actually, what's this? This is some AI generated stuff. Is that legit? Is that even a thing? Well, I don't know. Do we have to do HTML completion source? Well, let's first try what you had in the PR, which is just adding an empty instantiation of auto completion. It should be extensions.push auto completion passing no arguments. And then we have to figure out if it is HTML, which we can do like this, file extension equals HTML. And then I'll just add a console log just to
I think I'm also pushing HTML config as well, which is important. I think we need that as well. Does that make sense?
well, that is actually already being done elsewhere.
Okay, so we don't need the HTML config
We
for
do.
the auto completion because it already exists, like above, where it's
Here,
assigned.
let me show you where it's at. So I'm going to comment this out real quick, and then show you where it's added. So when we do get language extension, it looks up
Mhm.
from language extensions based on the file extension.
Right, which
And
is what we've
when it
defined
does
like above.
for HTML, it resolves to this thing here, which uses the HTML config.
Okay.
So this is where that happens, and hopefully it is happening. So I'm going to
Yeah,
run it.
so then we don't need. Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, that's where that part happens, and then the auto completion is also getting added, and maybe they'll come together.
Yeah. He just got that.
So let me open it up and test it out and see if it's going to work, because it feels close. I don't know. So we open an HTML file. Got to be one around here somewhere. Here we are.
And then just you can do a script side.
Oh, look at that. Yo, is it working? Is this it? Is this it working?
Okay, so it's instantiated the autocomplete in HTML, but let's see if it I want to know if it's doing the JavaScript in inside the script side. Oh,
Whoa.
it is. Perfect.
Whoa.
Nice.
Look at
Okay, well, do
that.
you want to touch the CSS as well then?
Well,
It
actually,
should do it
this
for
opens up.
style tag.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's working. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
nice.
No way, dude. This is sick. This is sick. So, you know, I feel like we just unlocked a bunch of stuff. See, console. No, console's not a thing. This is really nice. This is really. So this is taking advantage of the built-in code, like a code mirror native, so to speak, extension that does this. Now, if we are
Yeah,
in a
it's just
CSS, if we're in a CSS file, it's
it
not
doesn't do it.
it's
No, it
not
didn't set that
happening.
up. Because it's looking for the script tag in the HTML files. That's how it's parsing it for
Well,
when to enable it.
actually, you know what? Let me see. If
But I'm sure we can add it like pretty easily here.
I think what's happening is that it's using this override with the TypeScript stuff, but that's not relevant for CSS, and it comes back to the same problem. So let me just solve this now. So if well, actually, you know what we could do is CSS, right? And if it's HTML or CSS, get rid of that. Then just push auto completion with no config, and maybe that'll work. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Look at this. This is amazing. This is huge right here. This is actually like a new feature to the editor. This is fantastic. So really we're killing a bunch of birds here with one stone.
Does like other programs also or other languages also have autocomplete like Svelte currently? Have you tried? Tried that, or is the TypeScript because we could just make another flag for TypeScript, and just set the default to enabling the autocomplete.
Sorry, I didn't quite follow your train of thought there.
What if we switch the flag? So currently, what the enable TypeScript completions is like the default one. It's default overriding auto completion.
Right.
But we should just switch that to only enabling TypeScript files, and the default should be enabling the auto completion. I don't know if that makes sense.
Well, yeah. Yeah, it makes total sense. Yep, we
So
can
just like
definitely.
yeah, so it's like is
Yeah,
type like is TypeScript.
I like it.
Yeah. Do you know what this
I
would
got
be?
you. I got the list right here.
Okay.
So yeah, equals JS or nice, nice. Oh, you got is that a Copilot? That's amazing.
Yeah. I think it looked at
Nice.
the comment above. It was
Yep.
very useful. Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's how the
Uh,
prompting works in editors. It's great.
and then
And this is dead code. We don't need that.
perfect.
Yeah, this is boiling down nicely. So I will see that and raise you one better because there's some duplicated logic here. Extensions.push autocompletions, extensions.push autocompletion. And the only difference is what we pass into autocompletion. So
Okay.
here's what I would like to try. Is TypeScript? If so, that object. Otherwise, uh, undefined. And then we can, yeah, you got it. We can get rid of those.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit more concise. And then we got
Okay.
prettier.
You just
I just ran
yeah,
prettier.
prettier just ran through. Okay. Cool.
So this looks pretty nice.
Yeah. No, it looks good.
Nice. I'll just do one last test and then I'll make a commit. Oh yeah, so for Svelte, I wonder. We're getting something.
Yeah, I think when I read through the documentation too, like CodeMeter it like defaults to something, the autocomplete extension, if it like doesn't know the language,
Yeah,
it's just gonna do like known variables or things like that. That it can like already parse.
maybe one day we could have a special handling of Svelte to get all the edges and corners, but this is pretty good right now. This is better than
Yeah,
it was.
I looked into it, and there's like you can custom define auto completions in the auto completion library, and so they like show in the documentation like an example of like you can like actually parse like the auto completion code as well. Like make your own whatever auto completion like engine.
Nice. So yeah, I want her to create a new issue saying something like it would be great to handle them properly for auto completion. So I noticed it works well in the embedded JavaScript inside of Svelte files. So if I start typing DAT, it gives me data, which is good. So I'll just drop a screenshot there. Does not work well for actual Svelte DOM syntax. I don't know what that's really called, but I noticed it doesn't really work. So if I start typing... Oh, actually, it does something. It does something. But I would expect, like, if I start typing circle again, it would autocomplete. So I'll just drop an issue for the future about that. But yeah, it looks pretty good. Like, we've made some good improvements here. So let me test out with the CSS. Yep, it looks great. And then with the JavaScript x underscore. Yeah, it looks up. Yeah, the default, I don't know, it's pretty good. Or is this from the TypeScript stuff? I think this is from the TypeScript, actually.
Yeah, that should already existed. The change would be in HTML files and like script tags.
And you know
Yeah,
how
that
we can
works.
tell it's coming from the TypeScript our override is because there's no little icon. I noticed there's no little icons there. Let me make another issue for that. That would be cool to add little icons. So yeah, no little icons for TypeScript language server completions. And by contrast, if we use HTML, we get little icons. See that? It's a little X, and then there's keys. Like, what the heck is going on there? And those are all just defaults too. It might be cool to override those with some nicely, I don't know, other different styles, but it's pretty good. Pretty good for now. Okay, so I'll keep that in the future. I'll put it in the backlog. Okay, onward. Let's make a PR for this. Or is it already in a PR?
It should be the draft PR, so I don't know if you just need to push to it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'll just
No, it
push.
should work.
I'll just push to it. I'll push to your PR if you don't mind.
Yeah, that works.
So I'm just gonna reset the sample files. Git checkout test. So now it just has the changes in here. I'm gonna make a commit that says something like fix or finish. Also unlock CSS completions and Markdown too.
Yeah.
The
I'm
changes
gonna try
should, in
that maybe.
theory, be applying to Markdown too. Do I get any? Maybe I don't know. I'm not getting any.
I don't know if there is any like I don't well, like
Yeah.
you don't have any variables or anything in Markdown.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if it. Yeah. It wouldn't even make it much sense. Just thinking out loud if that could be a thing, but okay. I'm gonna do git push, and then. Oh, this is so cool to finally close a really old issue, opened in February. So just for future reference, I'm gonna rename this PR to be like HTML autocomplete.
I think for some reason, like I probably should have just overridden like the old branch that existed. There was like an old branch from a really old version of the code base, so I just made a new branch instead of off the issue.
Oh yeah, that's good. This is the newer branch, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this looks like there's hardly any changes in here. Amazing. Excellent. So I think I'll merge this in. Yeah, I'll click ready for review. And then I'll just say, looks good to me. Kind of silly because we're on a call together, but for the record, merge. Hooray! Man, we're getting so much done. So much just got done today. All right, well, I'm about ready to call it. How are y'all feeling? I think we're in a really good spot. I feel like there might be some things under in progress that are not actually in progress. Maybe let's just review real quick what's in progress. So introduce a keyboard shortcut to trigger search. That is in progress, right? I think so. Follow user, keyboard-based navigation. Position of color picker. That's not actually in progress. I'm going to move that. I mean, I'm not working on it. Saving saved. Active file rename on F2 key press. I'm going to put that as up next because it's not really in progress. And then automatically open a file that is in progress. Okay, cool. And while we're here, I can show you what it looks like to make a release. because I would love to release all this that just happened. Would y'all be interested in seeing that?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So when I cut a release of VZCode, what I typically do is pull the latest main, which I just did, and do NCU-U, which is upgrading all the dependencies, just in case some versions have changed. And sure enough, a couple upstream libraries have newer versions. So NCU-U actually modifies package.json, so we can see the diff here. And then I can do npm install, which will update package lock.json. And then I do npm run dev just to test it out, see if it's not totally broken. And now, I don't know, it's opening my 3030. I thought we solved that problem. We'll have to circle back to it. But anyway, it looks amazing. Oh my god, I love the icons. I just want to shout out to y'all. You're doing great work. Like, we have huge velocity right now. This is amazing. Amazing. So yeah, it looks like everything's basically working. So git checkout B, upgrade deps, and then I put a bunch of numbers to make it unique because there's so many branches called upgrade deps. And make a PR for that. And another thing I like to do before a release is to run prettier, because not everybody runs prettier at home, so to speak, so there could be some formatting deviations from the various PRs. But it looks like, oh yeah, there's a couple. See, there's a couple. And then I'll say run prettier. And just as a final check, I like to do npm test, just to run all the unit tests, which we haven't touched in a while, so they should all be passing. And then npm run tsc to run the TypeScript linting, just to see if there's any TypeScript errors. These would normally come through the IDE, but you can check across the whole code base like this on the command line. Usually it's clean. Yep, all good. And then I'll do, okay, so I'm going to merge this PR first, and then actually cut the release. Git checkout main, git pull, and then npm version minor. This makes a new version, so now we're at 1.10. And then npm publish. Here we go. And then after this, I can pull it into VizHub in the same way, just upgrading the VZCode dependency. And the build takes a while. It's going to release the built files to npm, I believe. All right. It did the build. It's publishing to npm. And then before I forget, I'm going to do a git push. Just push to main, which is a little sketchy, but you know, whatever. And then git push -- tags. This will push the release tag into GitHub so that I can then go in and put a new release page up, which is a separate step in GitHub. And then I click draft release and then choose the tag, which I just pushed. And then generate release notes, which is a really nice feature that just pulls in all the PRs that were merged. And there we go. Publish release. Boom. There it is. So thanks again, everyone, for your work. Really fantastic. All right. I guess I'll see y'all later. Thanks again.
See you on Friday.
See you Friday.
See you Friday. Bye.